nice.
Long close, 1975. A YouTuber's on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long Boys Close, 1975.
This is Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back on the Commodore 64, released by Domark but developed by Vector Graphics, not spelled the correct way, I believe in 1987, that's a guess. Obviously it's a follow-up to Star Wars, and much like it is on the Commodore, it's also released on the Spectrum. I have a gameplay of that, you know, obviously it's released on all the usual suspects. But yeah, obviously it was based on the arcade machine of the same name. Now this came out in, I want to say 1985, and was actually, was it an add-on? No, it was an add-on for the original Atari arcade game, which would turn it into, you know, Empire Strikes Back, even though the original Atari arcade game was released, you know, during the time of, well, Jedi. But was Star Wars arcade. Never mind, you know all this stuff. But apparently it pissed loads of people off because you couldn't reverse it once you turned it from Star Wars into Empire. And I think generally, maybe because nostalgia and stuff like that, or the impact it had back in the day, people generally, you know, preferred the original Star Wars game. Right. There we go. Listen to this. It's not bad, but it's not amazing though for a SID chip. Anyway, read that. You know the story. It's the middle act. It's the best act. It's the darkest act. Now, this takes a different route from Star Wars because it's got ground-based attacks. Well, when I say ground-based attacks, you could argue that the trench run and stuff like that is kind of ground-based, but you have tow cables. Anyway, I'll talk about the stages when I go through it, but I never got to play this in the arcades back in the day, so the first time I played it was on the ZX Spectrum, and I was really, really, really impressed with it. Right. Hello? Right. Is it? It is inverted. Nice. You got your manual. We won't go with that. Ignore the fact that it's a Death Star. Oh, well, there's a Vader's executor. So it's Vector Graphics. May not look like it there. Does here. Right, so we're on Hoth. See that at the top of the screen? That is the number of shields or generators, or strength of generators that you have to, you know, fight these bastards to stop, you know, well, the next stage, the AT-ATs get into it, like the movie, and blowing it up. So we shoot probe droids, and all you got to do is, if you look at where, you know, they will shoot the red thing, that's their eye. Give us back the eye, bollocks. But what you couldn't see there, because I was appalling, is that they shoot a thing at the top of their head, which is a transmission. So you intercept the transmission by shooting it. Well, it's like real life. So that's an ATST, a Scout Walker. Chicken Tonight, you used to call it when I was a kid. That's an AT-AT. Now, because obviously you're a snow speeder, you shoot them in the eye. In the eye! If you fly through their legs, which is really tricky, you get extra points. You get a certain number of points. So we try it head on. Oh, I feel nauseous. No, get a certain number of points and you spell out letters. J-E-D-I. Get all of them, which is why you play this for points, as opposed to going through it. You get, like, you spell out the word Jedi, you get invulnerability for a small amount of time. Right, I got tow cables. And I just wasted one, trying to remind myself of what the keys are. But first things first, and, oh no, the shield doors must be closed. I don't want to be like, you know, all them and us. Should we go for his legs? Bollocks. Yeah, all them and us, but this has got a great deal of slowdown. You notice that when the sprite goes to one, is it really truly Vector Graphics? I don't know. Goes to one bloke, bad guy, enemy, machine, or whatever on the screen, then there's a reasonable speed. Once you get rid of that, then look, you can tell the speed. Your legs just piss through like, you know, dysentery in the fucking 1600s. But then it comes back, particularly with the AT-ATs, and it slows down again. Right. I'm not complaining, but I'm pretty sure, in fact I did have a little go on it, the Spectrum does suffer from slowdown, but I'm pretty sure, go on, take him down, that the Spectrum doesn't slow down as much as this. So stick that one in your pipe and smoke it, Commodore kids. Well, how did that go through him? Fuck, I've got two shields left. Obviously his shields are in the top centre of the screen. Yoink. This is not a very good run, is it? There you go, I got, what letter did I get? E, I've missed J. So ultimately, that will stick around if I can progress through all the stages, because like Star Wars, it runs in the loop, but gets progressively harder. See, you know what I mean about the slowdown? There's a doesn't make it unplayable. If I only had this version back in the day, I would be perfectly happy with it. But, having played the Spectrum version back in the day, I can tell you that that's a better version. Now, like I said, it's not often, well, it does happen from time to time, but not incredibly often, particularly back then in the playground, that you could say, ah, excuse me, you Commodore kids, look what the Spectrum does with Empire Strikes Back. Now, I've got a gameplay of Star Wars on the Commodore. I've got a gameplay of Star Wars on pretty much everything. In fact, all in one video called a comparison video, but I can't remember if that's quicker on the Spectrum than it is on the Commodore. I don't know. Shoot him in the ass. Seems to work. See what I mean? Dysentery time. Ooh. So I am shooting him in the ass because his head, well, he looks inside out there. You don't do the budget, Terry, I do. Sorry. I have to say that every time I play a Star Wars game. Die! I don't want to get too close, so I've only got 2 shields left, and I want to try and make it through this round in its entirety. Because next we see the Executor. I've got tow cables still, have I? Oh yeah. Right, so I don't know what that's supposed to be, but Executor will fly up in the back, well there it is in the background, and these are TIE fighters. So, you know, and I'm in the Millennium Falcon. So it's reminiscent of the arcade, it's just this god-awful slowdown. And if that's a thing for vector graphics, I don't think so entirely. Alright, the game I want to mention wasn't on the Commodore, but look at Star Strike, or 3D Star Strike, the first one on the ZX Spectrum, and look, it does actually a better port of Star Wars, even though it's unofficial or a bootleg, of Star Wars. And there was absolutely no slowdown in that. Right, asteroids. I always found this really impressive on the Spectrum, but you look at it now, and I don't know. It looks like someone sanded off the corners on a Rubik's Cube, which I guess you could say is quite impressive for, you know, how chunky the vectors are. He's got 1 shield left. No! Yay! See, that's actually kind of impressive. So I've got Eye. There you go, Vader. Yay! I'm scared, hold me. Right, so no bonus awarded for easy level. You're a no bonus. Right, see if you can see the transmissions coming out the top of their heads. Do you see the transmission coming out the top of my head? Not really a quote, but you know what I mean. There you go. And I think I intercepted it, didn't I? I don't know. So like I said, it's by no means terrible. It's just the weaker version, I would say. Then having said that, I've never played it. Got no shields, balls, on the Amstrad, which I would imagine would be more like the Spectrum version, wouldn't it? Oh, get it! Right. They're much more intimidating than the probe droids in the movies. They should make them like this. They reintroduced them in any of the new movie, well, the last of the new movie. Oh no, they were in, No fair! My fucking, yeah, they were in, Rogue One, weren't they? I'm pretty sure they were. Anyway, I'm going to call it quit. Look at there. Oh, he's wiping his feet. I'm going to call it quits there. Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back on the Commodore 64. It's alright. And again, I don't want to sound like a broken record to annoy Commodore kids, but the Spectrum version's better. Quite surprised with that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.